Good day, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to yet another interview with myself, Tawanda. And today I've got a very, very important man in racing, Jonathan Snaith. And for somebody that might maybe live in a rock somewhere that might not know who you are, Jonathan, maybe just give a brief intro of yourself, brother.
Yeah, look, I'm Justin Snaith's younger brother. And, I've been in the game. I was born into racing, and so like my brother, and I'm very passionate about it. And, I try my best to help where I can in terms of at Kenilworth Racing and in any sort of entity where benefits racing. So with all the exciting changes happening in racing at the moment, the future looks pretty good prospects. And I'm quite excited about the next couple of months. So, so we've been pretty busy with that down here in the Western Cape and around the country, and just very happy that racing's back on track. It's been a terrible 2 months or 2.5 months for people in racing, but I think that extends around the world. So we're not alone.
100%.
And just happy to be back. Yeah.
And before we jump straight into racing, I just want us to talk a little bit about what's going on and just reflect a little bit. We were speaking about how a lot of things are going to be happening online betting and all of that stuff. I mean, like you just said, things are not going to be the same anymore, and I think it's going to be exciting to see a lot of online actions and activities happening, like online betting and all of that stuff, and even racing. Like not racing online, but the coverage of racing. A lot of stuff is going to be happening on social media and all of that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, look, I think there's a huge migration worldwide into digital platforms, and I think racing is a little bit behind in that regard. And I think the quicker we make that transition onto sort of online platforms, I think the better. And I think that goes towards also our marketing and social media. And the sooner we get on there, the better. I know a lot of South Africans aren't already digitally inclined, but they're going to be in the next year or two. So I think the earlier we get onto it, the better for the sustainability of racing.
100%. And how is the big guy do it again? How's my favorite horse in the whole country?
Wouldn't it be amazing if you did do it again? It's what are the odds of a horse going into the July to make history for the third time in a row, and his name is Do It Again? I mean, it's just a marketing dream.
Yeah.
So he's doing amazingly well. He's a horse that just loves Durban.
Yeah.
He's not the same horse in Cape Town. I think he's twice horse in Durban, and he's proven that time and time again. So this year one is no different to any other. He's improved leaps and bounds. But he had a disastrous Cape season, and one only can tell how he's doing after his first run. He could be doing well at home, but that doesn't guarantee that he comes back to his best. So for me, the advice I give to the punters is wait for him to run in the Gold Challenge, which is the end of this month in July. See how he goes. If he bounces back to his best, then I'd climb in. That 12-1 looks pretty generous in the Durban July at the moment.
100%. And I'm sure, are you in Cape Town at the moment?
I'm in Cape Town, and Justin is in Durban.
So what's his feedback on Do It Again's work and on the rest of the horses as well?
No, Justin's is extremely impressed with the way the horses have settled in there. And I think this, being our first meeting back for our runners on over the weekend, I think we're looking set to have a very good card. So we're quite excited to get the show on the road.
Okay, cool. Let's jump straight into racing on Sunday. We are at Hollywoodbets Greyville racecourse, and we're going to be seeing a lot of action-packed racing on Sunday. And one thing that I think is going to be exciting during the rest of the coming 2 months, we're going to be seeing a lot of racing like that's just squashed into 2 months. A lot of feature races, and I think that's going to be exciting. There is a positive out of this lockdown and all this COVID-19. Aren't you excited about that?
Yeah, I think it's I love that all the races and that goes across the country in the Highveld as well, all compressed. It's like every day you've got a feature race somewhere. So it's quality racing. You had a midweek racing at Kenilworth this week where we saw a whole bunch of Group 1 winners where Run Fox Run beat the boys, and it was without a doubt a Group 1 field, and it was just amazing midweek racing. You would never normally expect that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So the Jewel Hall Stakes, race number 7. How do you feel about the horses here that are running? I mean, you guys have, I think, 2 horses here. You got Bunker Hunt and you've got Casimir. How do you feel about? Let's start with Bunker Hunt.
Look, I think it's an interesting race. This, for me, this is an exciting race. I've got Vardy, which is arguably the best mile in the country over the last couple of months, having won the Queen's Plate this year. So, you take a horse like that, and then you've got the best sprinter in the last 2 years, Casimir.
Yeah.
Now they're meeting over a common ground of 1,400, 7 furlongs, 1,400 meters, and it's what a race. I mean, this for me is it's as exciting as it gets. And, does Casimir have the stamina to hold off horses like Vardy and these other really good sort of milers?
Yeah.
And I think Justin's got this horse in the right place at the right time. He hasn't got the best of draws, but it is a small field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this horse is going to start the season with a bang. Anton Marcus up. I think he's going to take a lot of beating. Vardy, I do respect Vardy. He's a really, really top sort. And but he's probably better over a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have the draw. And it's going to be one hell of a race. But I do think Casimir is going to take some beating. And I'm not sure. I think he's sitting around about 2-1, which is quite good value.
Yeah.
Bunker Hunt, he's a class individual, but obviously a horse that's looking for 10 furlongs, and this is just part of his preparation for the Vodacom July.
Yeah, like you just said, it's going to be a very, very exciting race. I mean, you've got very good horses here. You got like horses like Eyes Wide Open that won the World Sports Betting 1900 last year. Was it last year? I think so. Yeah, I could be mistaken, but I think I'm really. Could be.
He won the
right?
Greyville 1900.
Yeah, he did, right? And yeah, you got Casimir, which is I think he is the best sprinter in the country, since he did win the Equus Champion Sprinter Award. World Sports Betting Fillies Guineas. How do you feel about the chances here?
Well, I think Cape Town actually is quite well represented here. I think there's a hell of a lot of quality fillies here. Mississippi Burning, who was the Guineas winner in the Western Cape. And you got Driving Mr. AZ, who was the runner-up in that Group 1. So it's a proper field, this. And the first I quite think, you should include in your exotics, and it should be any price, is Rattle Mouse. I think she's far better than her form would suggest.
Yeah.
And she's one in the up. And her main aim is the Will Lavington later this month. But she's a filly that I would include. But this is a very open race. I think there's a couple of horses that warrant inclusion here. And even our other horse, Sovereign Secret, who ran a great race in the $500,000 mile on Met Day, has got to be included. And it's a tricky card, but I think, it's hard to look past the horses that ran 1 and 2 in the Fillies Guineas in Cape Town. But if you look past those 2, you're going to have to go really wide, including a horse like Kelpie and others. So it's not I think it's not as easy as one would think at first glance.
Tell me about Sashdev in the World Sports Betting Guineas.
Yeah, look, the Guineas it's quite I thought this would be a little bit stronger, this field, but in saying that, there's some really nice horses. Sashdev is a very smart type. I think he was unlucky not to win his last start in the Derby. And Anton Marcus is really happy with this horse. And I think he's going to take some beating here again. He's the type of horse that's guaranteed to run well. And I think he'll be in the top 3. And this is a prep run for the Daily News. And he's a horse, he's probably any price for the Vodacom July, and one that must be respected, because he runs well here, runs well in the Daily News. He's going to be a serious contender in the Derby July, carrying 53 kilos. So interesting race. I think Golden Ducat would probably be the main danger, having beaten him last time out in the Derby. I do think he could turn those tables around. Yeah. And for me, I think those are the 2 horses once again. I think Wild Coast is going to need his first run in Durban.
Yeah.
He's probably not as ready as Sashdev would be.
Yeah.
And for me, I make this a 2-horse race.
Wild Coast is the son of Beach Beauty, and it should have a special place in the people of Durban,
Yeah, she was phenomenal at Greyville. And that's one of the mindsets when we discussed bringing horses up to Durban. We were in discussions with Kevin Somerville, and we said Wild Coast has to be on the list because, his mom was just almost unbeatable at Greyville. And he's very similar in conformation. He's sort of short and stocky like his mom, and hopefully he'll extend that sort of form at Greyville. And in saying that, I don't think he's quite ready. And this is just going to be a preparation run for the rest of the KwaZulu-Natal season.
Mm-hmm. And Wild Coast beat Sashdev in the Cape Guineas, but then lost to Sashdev again in the CPS 1600. Now, when you compare those two horses, Sashdev and Wild Coast, how do you feel about which horse do you think is going to come out first or better than the other?
I think Sachdev's probably just had a better preparation coming into this race. He's more ready. And I think next time out that could change once again. But I think coming into this particular race, I think Sachdev's had a easier preparation and probably the one to follow here. And obviously Golden Ducat, the number 3 horse, is going to be his biggest danger.
100%. And you got Mr. Anton Marcus on Sashdev as well. So it's another positive.
No, he's walking on water at the moment. I see 5 winners in his first meeting back. But he deserves every accolade he gets. Throughout this lockdown period, I tell you, one of the hardest working jockeys was Anton Marcus. He was phoning Justin every single morning in Cape Town. And he just, at his age, often these guys probably wouldn't have the work ethics they had when he was 20. But I mean, the way he's working, you'd think he was an 18-year-old. It's just actually phenomenal. So the people just feel that he gets to the racetrack and gets on the favorites. It's not the case. He does all the work at home. And, it's a lot of hard work to get to the point where he is. And it's not just by chance and reputation.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the fact that he works so hard, you can kind of see it in his aura and in the way he carries himself. Hard work. When you work so hard, you can't not be confident in yourself. You know what I mean? It comes with it. So yeah, that's what I think.
No.
Anyway, Jonathan, thank you very much, brother. I think we've added value, more you than me, to the guys that are out there. And I think if they really watch this video and just maybe consider our selections, your selections more than mine, they will definitely find some value and hopefully they can back some winners.
Yeah, no, if I recommend it for the pick 6, and you could play 2 perms where you banker Casimir and you go 2 horses in the Guineas in Golden Ducat and Sachdev, and then vice versa. You could possibly look at bankering Sachdev and then putting in Casimir and Bardi. Just an option to play around. I think it's a great card, and I think it's a lovely pick 6 to play.
Awesome. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's. I'm looking forward to the KwaZulu-Natal season. It's always the champion season's probably one of the highlights for us in the South African sort of calendar year, and it's just really it's a one province where everyone comes together, and it's like everyone's on fair playing ground, and may the best horse win. And that's what I like the most about Durban is you get Joburg, you get Cape Town, and Durban. It's just the best horses compete on level playing fields, and I think it's a fantastic season, and we're really looking forward to it. And Gold Circle do such an amazing job, and kudos to them, and we're really excited.
100%. When can we expect you to be down here in Durban?
When I'm allowed. As it stands, I'm an assistant trainer, I think, in my registration, so I'm not allowed on the course. So I'll have to watch it on the TV like everyone else. Like
everybody else. Anyway, thank you, Jono. And we'll definitely be doing another one probably on Tuesday, right? Or before that on Monday.
Well, we'll do another one for Kenilworth. Yeah, we'll keep the punters informed, and as we know, Justin's very transparent, and we're an open book, and hopefully we can guide the punters in the right way.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. And we'll see you on the next one.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Awesome.